In the campaigns, every hero has an inbuilt regeneration that helps them recover from fights and protects them from dying. Heroes are often a must-survive unit, so such self-healing becomes very useful. This regeneration is not exclusive to heroes though. There are actually a bunch of units that have the ability to heal themselves over time, both on land and water. Let's see which one packs the biggest load in their healing department, and start with the OG of getting his HP back, the Berserk. While heroes might seem to be the natural self-healers, the Berserk has had this ability even before them, healing since the base game. Heroes would start self-healing only after the first expansion, the Conquerors. Berserks regenerate 20 HP per minute without the need for any upgrades, so you will be able to recover from fights straight away without any additional investment. If you would like to increase the recovery rate though, you can pay a small price of 850 food and 450 gold to get their Imperial unique technology and double their HP regen. And at that point, you can pretend to have some actual heroes in your game, as they match the healing rates of the campaign heroes. For the longest time, Berserks remained the only unit that could heal themselves in the standard game. That changed with the African expansion and the addition of our second contestant for the best regeneration, the Berbers. Unlike the Vikings, Berbers have their healing locked behind an Imperial technology. Similar to the Berserker gang, it gives your units a comfortable 15 HP healing per minute, but it doesn't affect just your unique unit. The healing works on both the Camel Archer as well as the Camel Rider, which Berbers also get discounted. That makes a rather nice combination and a possibility to overwhelm your enemy with a horde of self-healing cavalry. So far all the units we have covered have required a castle and a bunch of resources behind them. With the addition of Poles in the Dawn of the Dukes, this whole concept changed. For the first time we got a unit available since the first minute, having arguably the biggest potential for the usefulness of this regeneration. I'm talking about, of course, the Polish villagers. With their scaling healing, they managed to stay relevant throughout the ages, though you will probably be the happiest about it in the early game. Boar damaged your hunter? Doesn't matter. A raid in your eco? Give it a few minutes, next raid will have to start from the beginning. Together with their gold generation bonus, Poles are a great tower or castle rushing civilization, being able to survive much more retaliation from the defenders. To speed things up a bit, in the dynasties of India, Dravidians got a castle age unique technology, which is very similar to the Berber one. It doesn't affect camels this time around, but elephants. So the elephant archer, siege elephant and the battle elephant all get a trickle of health back. Though you should never make anything from the stable as Dravidians. Maybe more interestingly though, another Indian civilization got regeneration on their ships. After fights, Bengali ships regenerate a flat 15 HP per minute, making the water gameplay, which is already very vulnerable to snowballing, even more snowbally. A close one fight now means that the enemy reinforcements will be fighting your fully regenerated ships in a few minutes, without any additional cost from your side. And now that we have a general idea of what's on the table, how do we answer the question, which one is the best? Well, it's not that easy. If we look at raw numbers, the Berserk wins with twice as much health regenerated as anyone else, but that is not the whole picture. Here are some examples that stand out. In a 1v1 fight, Bengali Galleon will heal enough that they actually win the fight against a fully upgraded enemy ship, and maybe more importantly, they also win in feudal age fights with even more HP preserved. This is a huge deal because of how difficult it is to regain water superiority. Another thing that stands out are the Dravidian siege elephants that are able to withstand castle and archer fire for a few volleys more, making them ironically tankier against archer fire than the other siege elephants, despite missing 20 HP. To get to the ranking though, in my opinion, we can do it like this. Early in the game, small differences matter a lot, so any bonuses that start early immediately get bonus points. The Bengali ship regeneration not only keeps the momentum and your ships in sparkling condition, but also gives you direct bonus in prolonged fights over the enemy. The fact that the bonus is also free puts Bengalis to S tier in the regeneration bracket, on water maps at least. Poles get free healing on their villagers since the Dark Age, making your villagers harder to pick off and allowing some sustainable forward action. This is super useful in prolonged feudal and castle fights where your economy might be getting harassed over and over. The bonus falls off later on. Villagers are relatively cheap, and in Imperial Age, healing a few HP per minute won't save you against something like a paladin. Overall still S tier though. For the bonuses that you have to pay for, they come late in the game and matches often end before they even come into an effect. It is also important to see which units are worth it. you have to pay for the castle and the tech itself, which is a high investment already. I will quote Spirit of the Law's video, "Is healing worth it?" on this one. The most important units to heal, resource-wise at least, are those with high cost and low HP, like cavalry archers. That immediately puts Dravidian elephant regeneration low on the list. Elephants can take quite a lot of punishment, and while they are expensive, the small trickle of healing will not give you much advantage over what you already have. To heal one siege elephant from 1 HP to full will take you 13.5 minutes. I think the developers were aware of this though and made the cost of the tech rather cheap, only costing 2.5 siege elephants. It is not that much of a hit to your economy, and while it should not be prioritized, it can be a nice convenience after one fight. The overall. Where it gets interesting is the Berber bonus. The unit we're looking at here is the Camel Archer, which is a rather squishy and expensive unit, so it would fit our criteria for a good regeneration candidate. Together with the Camel Rider, which also gets the bonus, they have possibly their entire composition benefit from the healing. A highly mobile army that can get out of a sticky situation and recover by itself. Only thing holding it back is the higher cost of the tech and the regeneration itself being on the lower end. Overall, A-. And lastly, Berserks are the original first aid kit units. After shredding enemy army, they will recover faster than anyone else can. What holds the Vikings back in the ranking though is that they have to win the fight to benefit from it. Unlike Berber camels, Berserks are melee infantry, so they have to commit to the fight, from which it can be difficult to escape. The cost of the technology is also something to consider, but if you can make sure to come in your fights on top, Berserks are a king of momentum. A overall. And now that we have the ladder done, I want to stress one thing. For the civs where you have to research the tech, so Vikings, Berbers and Dravidians, the regeneration by itself won't win you any fights. If we take two Viking players, one with the Berserker gang researched and the other one with the same amount of resources put into extra units, the second one wins by a landslide. The total resources give you extra 14 units, which can be a decisive factor in a fight. These regeneration techs should be used when you are sure you will win fights already or you are pop capped. Then they can work extra great for keeping momentum. To give you an idea of what the units are actually healing, compared to something like a monk for example, Berserks heal 40 HP per minute, which translates to roughly 1 HP every 2 seconds. Monks heal 150 HP per minute, and the Byzantine ones even twice as much. Obviously monks can heal only one unit though, so you will still overall heal faster with the passive regeneration when most of your units are damaged. But there is another way. Garrisoning your units to a castle heals them for 12 HP per minute, and after researching herbal medicine it gets bumped to 72 HP per minute per unit. That is almost double of what the Berserker has, for a fraction of the cost. This point highlights an important message for this video. While regeneration is good, it's the most beneficial when you are far away from your town and want to keep the momentum. If you are fighting around your castles, you might be overpaying for what you're getting. And yeah, that will be my take on the health regeneration. What do you think about the ranking? Would you agree? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for the support and see ya.